Hey guys, Ike here from Mike'sOutdoors.com. I'm here today to do a broadhead test on the G5 Striker. Now this broadhead's been around a while, but this is one that's fairly new to me. Got it opened up here. We'll show you some of these blades. This is probably the sharpest out of the box broadhead that I've ever tested. Just right out of the box here. I'm actually scared I'm going to cut myself. But right out of the box, this thing is just wicked sharp. I mean, it is ridiculous how sharp this thing is. You can just put it to your arm. I mean, you can just, I'm not even holding it at the right angle, and hair is just flying off. I hope you guys can see that, but it is ridiculous how sharp this thing is. Really cool design. This is available in a couple different grain weights, 125 grain, 100 grain, I believe. Maybe available in a few others. The design on this thing is it's an all steel design. Now when you take it off like that, you'll notice that it does have a ring down here that holds the blades in, so it's got a blade retention system that's relying on the arrow or something to hold it together. So and before I didn't really like that, but I was proved wrong in my review of another broadhead that has that, and that broadhead ended up being one of the toughest I'd ever tested. So I'm not going to say anything about it this time. Last time I made myself kind of look like a fool, but this is an all steel construction with 30 thou blades on it, and these are Lutz blades made in Germany, and very sharp. I've tested a few other broadheads that have had the Lutz blades on them, and they're very sharp and very high quality steel, very good blades. This is kind of this is a design that's new to me. This is a cut-on contact design with a replaceable blade, which I really like, a cut-on contact head. So we've got a head here that has a really nice wedge shape to it. It really comes to a nice fine point, and it's actually it's not razor sharp, I won't say that, but it does have some sharpness to it. So it's going to want to cut through and bust through bone as well. I really like the design of the point on this broadhead. It just has a cut-on contact design where it's going to try to cut through, but it also has a bone busting design like some of the trocar tips and some of that stuff like that. So really am a big fan of the way the tip is designed on this thing. Now let's see here, this is like I said, 30 thou Lutz blades on this thing, and I'm trying to find, cutting diameter is inch and a 16th cutting diameter. So it's a 3-blade broadhead with an inch and a 16th cutting diameter. All steel construction. It has an annex locking system on it, which, like I said, that locking system is dependent on it being tight to an arrow. But I'm not going to say nothing bad about that, because I've done that before and I just dropped the broadhead and almost cut myself. Anyway, okay, so I'm back. But I did that before, and that broadhead ended up being one of the toughest broadheads I ever tested. It actually ended up making it through the brick test, which no other broadhead ever has. So I'm not going to doubt this Striker. But pretty impressive looking head. Really like the design on it overall. And right now we're going to get this thing out and we're going to put it to the test. Now the bow I'm going to be using is the same bow I used in all my broadhead tests this year. It's Bowtech RPM. My setup on it's putting out about 72 foot-pounds of kinetic energy, so it's really putting out a lot of energy, and we're going to see what kind of tests we can get, how this thing will perform in a few of our tests. I actually do have a bone this time too that I'm going to be putting this thing through. Okay, so here's our foam. Now this is a gel-infused foam, and it acts a lot like an organ. It's a memory foam, acts a lot like flesh. You can see there's the entry hole, or there's the hole in the first layer, and there's the exit hole. Second layer, still got a good cutting diameter, and then there's the exit hole. So still doing cutting pretty good. A new element in this test is this gel here. This is the gel that is actually inserted into that. You can see where the broadhead shot through with it. We got memory foam on the back as well. I was wondering on this one if it was actually going to cut this gel, because you can see this gel wants to actually move quite a bit on you. And so what I was curious about, was it even going to cut the gel, or was it just going to move the gel to the side? And you can see right here the shape of it. It cut the gel very well. Cut right through the gel there. And this gel wants to squish. It does not want to be cut. You can tell by looking at it that this gel just wants to move out of the way. A lot like a vein in a deer. So this is my representation of slicing through a vein or an artery in a deer. Sliced right through both sides. This side it hit an area where it didn't actually hit one. It skinned right along the side of it, and you can see it peeled up just a little bit of it right there. So is it an accurate representation? I don't know, but it's the best that I can do as far as sharpness and the ability of a broadhead to cut a vein, and it looks like it did a pretty good job to me on that one. Okay, so this next test is one I don't actually get to do very often because I don't always have bones laying around. This is actually the shoulder bone from a 200-pound silver tip Russian boar. And I know that because it's the one I killed earlier this spring. And as you can tell, I've actually just, what I did was smoked it. So this shoulder bone has been smoked, and it's been sitting in my refrigerator for a week. So that's the condition. I don't want anybody to think there's any false pretenses here. This has been smoked, and it's been sitting in my refrigerator for a week waiting for me to get off my lazy butt to do this broadhead test. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to center punch that area right there. Of course, who knows if I can actually do that or not. This is going to be from 20 yards. All my tests in this video and all my broadhead tests are from 20 yards. So we're going to give it a shot. We're going to try to hit it here, but anywhere up in this area is going to give us a good idea of what this thing's going to do to bone. And you can see that from the side. I've got as much of the meat off of this thing as I possibly could. This section of the bone right here is very, very thick and very, very tough. Okay, so wow is all I have to say to that. Here's the bone, and I actually hit it just a little bit below where I aimed. I wanted to hit up here, but from 20 yards, I'm pretty happy with that shot. This is the actual penetration that the broadhead went through. I simply pulled this back, and the broadhead had went into the target a little bit. So that's the amount of penetration that I got on this hog shoulder. Now, there's no meat or anything around it like that, so I can't say that this is the penetration you're going to get on a hog. What I can say though is it absolutely devastated this bone, went all the way through it, and actually broke one blade and dented the other two. But the main ferrule itself is absolutely fine. So some replacement blades on that thing, and it would be good to go again for some more killing. And I'm going to actually do this so you can see. That's how bad it messed up that shoulder. I was actually able to take the broadhead out through the side. You can see up here nice and close. There's the hole in the bone, and you can see where I hit it. I hit it right in, I mean, almost the thickest part of the bone, and it just absolutely blew through that bone. I mean, just tore it right up. I mean, just splinters left over. So that's the G5 Striker, and all I gotta say is wow. Very accurate broadhead, puts a good hole in the test medium, you know, that I used, the foam that I used. Accuracy, I shot it at 20 yards and I shot it at 40 yards, and no problems with accuracy there. Just absolutely hit the center of what I was aiming at every time. As far as penetration on this bone goes, I mean, you can see right there, the proof speaks for itself. It got a good 6 inches of penetration on that thing through the thickest part of the bone, and just absolutely blew right through it. That is a very, very impressive broadhead. And that is the Striker from G5. So for more information on this head, it tested out very, very well. Absolutely couldn't be more impressed with this head. For more information on this head, check them out. We'll put a link right here, and we'll put a direct link in the description below. And for more product reviews and how-to videos, check out our website, ikesoutdoors.com. Appreciate you guys watching.